Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A recording of a song that was first recorded or made popular by somebody else. They made a cover of a Beatles song. Form a cover over. The grass covered the grave. Clothe, as if for protection from the elements. Cover your head. A fixed charge by a restaurant or nightclub over and above the charge for food and drink. The act of concealing the existence of something by obstructing the view of it. The cover concealed their guns from enemy aircraft. Travel across or pass over. The caravan covered almost 100 miles each day. Span an interval of distance, space or time. The period covered the turn of the century. A covering that serves to conceal or shelter something. Under cover of darkness. Include in scope. Include as part of something broader. Have as one sphere or territory. This should cover everyone in the group. Fire that makes it difficult for the enemy to fire on your own individuals or formations. Artillery provided covering fire for the withdrawal. Put something on top of something else. Cover the meat with a lot of gravy. A natural object that covers or envelops. Under a covering of dust. The protective covering on the front, back, and spine of a book. Make up for shortcomings or a feeling of inferiority by exaggerating good qualities. Bedding that keeps a person warm in bed. He pulled the covers over his head and went to sleep. Hide from view or knowledge. The president covered the fact that he bugged the offices in the White House. Be responsible for reporting the details of, as in journalism. The cub reporter covered New York City. Covering for a hole, especially a hole in the top of a container. Put the cover back on the kettle. Act on verbally or in some form of artistic expression. The course covered all of Western civilization. Sit on, eggs. The female covers the eggs. Protect by insurance. The insurance won't cover this. Cover as if with a shroud. Copulate with a female, used especially of horses. The horse covers the mare. A false identity and background, especially one created for an undercover agent. Her new name and passport or cover for her next assignment. Be responsible for guarding an opponent in a game. Be sufficient to meet, defray, or offset the charge or cost of. Is this enough to cover the check? Help out by taking someone's place and temporarily assuming his responsibilities. She is covering for our secretary who is ill this week. Hold within range of an aimed firearm. Invest with a large or excessive amount of something. She covered herself with glory. Maintain a check on, especially by patrolling. The second officer covered the top floor. Play a higher card than the one previously played. Smith covered again. Protect or defend, a position in a game. He covered left field. Provide for. The grant doesn't cover my salary. Provide with a covering or cause to be covered. Cover her face with a handkerchief. Spread over a surface to conceal or protect. This paint covers well. To take an action to protect against future problems. Count the cash in the drawer twice just to cover yourself. A recording of a song that was first recorded or made popular by somebody else. A recording of a song that was first recorded or made popular by somebody else. Form a cover over. Finish a task completely. Clothe, as if for protection from the elements. Arrange or fold as a cover or protection. Form a cylinder by rolling. A fixed charge by a restaurant or nightclub over and above the charge for food and drink. The act of concealing the existence of something by obstructing the view of it. The work of applying something. A natural object that covers or envelops. Under a covering of dust. An artifact that covers something else, usually to protect or shelter or conceal it. The act of protecting something by covering it. Scenery used to block the audience's view of parts of the stage that should not be seen. The act of concealing the existence of something by obstructing the view of it. The blocking of one sensation resulting from the presence of another sensation. He studied auditory masking by pure tones. The act of concealing the existence of something by obstructing the view of it. The display of a motion picture. Fabric of metal or plastic mesh. Testing objects or persons in order to identify those with particular characteristics. Meet at a point. To cover or extend over an area or time period. Extending or lying across, in a crosswise direction, at right angles to the long axis. Cross members should be all steel. Travel across or pass over. Annoyed and irritable. Any affliction that causes great suffering. That is his cross to bear. A marking that consists of lines that cross each other. Genetics, the act of mixing different species or varieties of animals or plants and thus to produce hybrids. Hinder or prevent, the efforts, plans, or desires, of. Genetics, an organism that is the offspring of genetically dissimilar parents or stock, especially offspring produced by breeding plants or animals of different varieties or breeds or species. A mule is a cross between a horse and a donkey. Breed animals or plants using parents of different races and varieties. Cross a horse and a donkey. A representation of the structure on which Jesus was crucified, used as an emblem of Christianity or in heraldry. A wooden structure consisting of an upright post with a transverse piece. Fold so as to resemble a cross. She crossed her legs. Meet and pass. The trains crossed. Trace a line through or across. Cross your T. Travel across or pass over. Cut using a diagonal line. Be contrary to ordinary procedure or limitations. Opinions on bombing the Serbs cut across party lines. Travel across or pass over. Become clear or enter one's consciousness or emotions. Travel across or pass over. Communicate successfully. I couldn't get across the message. Get on top of. Deal with successfully. Travel across or pass over. Improve in health. To bring, a necessary but unpleasant task, to an end. Rub with a circular motion. Travel across or pass over. Bypass. Make a passage or journey from one place to another. Fly over. Any road or path affording passage, especially a rough one. Computer science. One of the circular magnetic paths on a magnetic disk that serve as a guide for writing and reading data. Travel across or pass over. Go after with the intent to catch. The act of participating in an athletic competition involving running on a track. An endless metal belt on which tracked vehicles move over the ground. A course over which races are run. Evidence pointing to a possible solution. A distinct selection of music from a recording or a compact disc. The title track of the album. A line or route along which something travels or moves. The track of an animal. A bar or pair of parallel bars of rolled steel making the railway along which railroad cars or other vehicles can roll. A groove on a phonograph recording. A pair of parallel rails providing a runway for wheels. Carry on the feet and deposit. Track mud into the house. Make tracks upon. Observe or plot the moving path of something. Track a missile. Taking a zigzag path on skis. To cover or extend over an area or time period. Rivers traverse the valley floor. A horizontal beam that extends across something. Travel across or pass over. Deny formally, an allegation of fact by the opposing party, in a legal suit. A horizontal crosspiece across a window or separating a door from a window over it. Travel across. Continue a certain state, condition, or activity. We continued to work into the night. Span an interval of distance, space or time. The archipelago continues for another 500 miles. Continue talking. I know it's hard, he continued, but there is no choice. Keep or maintain in unaltered condition. Cause to remain or last. Continue the family tradition. Continue in a place, position, or situation. She continued as deputy mayor for another year. Do something repeatedly and showing no intention to stop. We continued our research into the cause of the illness. Move ahead. Travel onward in time or space. She continued in the direction of the hills. Allow to remain in a place or position or maintain a property or feature. We cannot continue several servants any longer. Continue after an interruption. The demonstration continued after a break for lunch. Exist over a prolonged period of time. The bad weather continued for 2 more weeks. Extend in scope or range or area. The law was extended to all citizens. Offer verbally. Extend my greetings. Expand the influence of. The king extended his rule to the eastern part of the continent. Span an interval of distance, space or time. The war extended over 5 years. Extend or stretch out to a greater or the full length. Extend the TV antenna. Increase in quantity or bulk by adding a cheaper substance. Extend the casserole with a little rice. Thrust or extend out. Extend a hand. Continue or extend. The disease extended into the remote mountain provinces. Cause to move at full gallop. Reach outward in space. The awning extends several feet over the sidewalk. Use to the utmost. Exert vigorously or to full capacity. He really extended himself when he climbed Kilimanjaro. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. My memory extends back to my 4th year of life. Make available. Provide. Extend a loan. Lengthen in time. Cause to be or last longer. She extended her visit by another day. Extend one's limbs or muscles, or the entire body. Open or straighten out. Unbend. Can we extend the legs of this dining table? Prolong the time allowed for payment of. Extend the loan. The activity of keeping something secret. A covering that serves to conceal or shelter something. The simplest concealment is to match perfectly the color of the background. The condition of being concealed or hidden. A covering that serves to conceal or shelter something. The brush provided a covert for game. A flock of coots. Of a wife, being under the protection of her husband. A woman covert. Secret or hidden. Not openly practiced or engaged in or shown or avowed. Covert actions by the CIA. Protect, hide, or conceal from danger or harm. Test or examine for the presence of disease or infection. Screen the blood for the HIV virus. A strainer for separating lumps from powdered material or grating particles. A covering that serves to conceal or shelter something. A screen of trees afforded privacy. The personnel of the film industry. A star of stage and screen. Separate with a riddle, as grain from chaff. Examine in order to test suitability. Screen these samples. A white or silvered surface where pictures can be projected for viewing. Prevent from entering. The display that is electronically created on the surface of the large end of a cathode ray tube. A protective covering that keeps things out or hinders sight. A protective covering consisting of netting, can be mounted in a frame. They put screens in the windows for protection against insects. Examine methodically. Screen the suitcases. Partition consisting of a decorative frame or panel that serves to divide a space. Project onto a screen for viewing. Screen a film. Include in scope. Include as part of something broader. Have as one sphere or territory. Get the meaning of something. Do you comprehend the meaning of this letter? To become aware of through the senses. Include in scope. Include as part of something broader. Have as one sphere or territory. A close, affectionate and protective acceptance. His willing embrace of new ideas. The act of clasping another person in the arms, as in greeting or affection. take up the cause, ideology, practice, method, of someone and use it as one's own. She embraced Catholicism. Hold someone tightly in your arms, usually with fondness. They embraced. The state of taking in or encircling. An island in the embrace of the sea. Include in scope. Include as part of something broader. Have as one's sphere or territory. This group encompasses a wide range of people from different backgrounds. Fire that makes it difficult for the enemy to fire on your own individuals or formations. Artillery provided covering fire for the withdrawal. Put something on top of something else. Protective covering consisting, for example, of a layer of boards applied to the studs and joists of a building to strengthen it and serve as a foundation for a weatherproof exterior. Kill by lying on. The sow overlay her piglets. A layer of decorative material, such as gold leaf or wood veneer, applied over a surface. A natural object that covers or envelops. A support that you can lean against while sitting. The back of the dental chair was adjustable. Give support or one's approval to. I can't back this plan. Establish as valid or genuine. Can you back up your claims? The side that goes last or is not normally seen. He wrote the date on the back of the photograph. The protective covering on the front, back, and spine of a book. The series of vertebrae forming the axis of the skeleton and protecting the spinal cord. The fall broke his back. The posterior part of a human, or animal, body from the neck to the end of the spine. His back was nicely tanned. In or to or toward a pastime. Set the clocks back an hour. Place a bet on. Which horse are you backing? Be behind. Approve of. I backed Kennedy in 1960. Located at or near the back of an animal. Back, or hind, legs. The part of something that is furthest from the normal viewer. He stood at the back of the stage. At or to or toward the back or rear. He moved back. American football. The position of a player on a football team who is stationed behind the line of scrimmage. Be in back of. My garage backs their yard. Cause to travel backward. Back the car into the parking spot. Football. A person who plays in the backfield. Of an earlier date. Back issues of the magazine. Related to or located at the back. The backyard. Shift to a counterclockwise direction. The wind backed. Strengthen by providing with a back or backing. Support financial backing for. Back this enterprise. The part of a garment that covers the back of your body. They pinned a "kick me" sign on his back. Travel backward. Back into the driveway. One of a pair of mechanical devices that are attached to a ski and that will grip a ski boot. The bindings should release in case of a fall. The protective covering on the front, back, and spine of a book. The book had a leather binding. The act of applying a bandage. Executed with proper legal authority. A binding contract. strip sewn over or along an edge for reinforcement or decoration. The capacity to attract and hold something. The protective covering on the front, back, and spine of a book.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.